Time now for Coming In Hot with Brent Wallace, former Ottawa Senator Jason York, and Graham Nichols.
Seven months until Christmas, everybody. Welcome to Coming In Hot. Brent Wallace, Jason York, Graham Nichols. Nice to see you all. York, have you tried any sunscreen?
Why do am I getting a nice tan?
Yeah.
Am I starting to brown up a little bit? Wally, you're like Casper the Ghost over there.
If Wally's Casper the Ghost, then I'm like translucent then, because Wally's way more pink than I am.
I thought you got a new Graham. Don't you have a new golf membership? You're golfing.
I do. I've played like 6 times already. Yeah.
Yeah. Usually it's raining though.
Well, I was supposed to go for a lesson this morning. I got surprised this morning because my son's got sick. He's got like impetigo on his hands. So he's not even really sick. He's just got like a skin rash condition thing. So he's staying home.
That's like a little kid. That's like a little kid's thing. All the kids always get that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's annoying. Like I work 2 shifts. I worked 2 shifts this weekend and then came home and it's like, yeah, Jack's got to stay home. I'm like,
damn it.
Cancel my lesson. Cancel my golf lesson.
Sorry for your struggles in life.
First world problems, Wally. First world problems.
This show brought to you by Bet365. Don't forget, if your team goes up 3 goals like the Colorado Avalanche, you get paid out early. Download the app today. And then if your team loses, you still get paid. Also, Ron Tugnutt is standing by. We'll get to Tugger in a sec. Lots of questions for one of the most beloved Senators of all time.
I would agree with that, Wally. One of the best Senators historical pitchers of all time. You know which one it is, Graham? You know which one it is?
Nope. Go.
Best pitcher.
The one with Redden? The one with Redden?
The one with Wade Redden. The hug after the monumental 1-0 win over the Buffalo Sabres.
I was at that game where they clinched, and I was sitting like 300 levels, like right kind of behind the Buffalo net. So I had like one of the best views for that Duchesne goal. And it was,
I was there
that
too.
was one of the coolest moments. Well played. Well played. You had probably one of the best seats in the house too.
And the guy we're bringing down was there too. Oh, good times.
He's in the picture. Okay, we got lots of questions for him. So, you know what? Should we just get to it? Is there anything, Yorkie, I don't know, that you need to bring up before we get into it?
Hall of Fame on Wednesday, baby.
Hall of Fame Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Heard you guys are going on a boondoggle before you get there. So it might be rowdy in there. Well, you guys are going out for cocktails with Mike Minot, I saw before. Wally, you better settle that table down. I got a speech to say there. I can't be getting heckled by you. And
I've been working on my presentation speech for you.
Presentation.
I don't know what you call it. When you welcome the guy, whatever that speech. I got it. Yeah. I'm waiting for him to ask me, but I've written it.
You're going to introduce me.
That's it.
You're that guy. Okay. Yeah.
You got the induction speech.
It's my best friend. Do you guys have in your speech, because I know Laurel's probably written it, do you mention us?
Maybe. All I was told, I got a message. I got a message, and Tugger will laugh at this because Jacques Martin used to be a man of very few words, as Wally, you guys know, in the media. He didn't say a lot, but he's totally changed now. Jacques is he's a new guy now. He's like talks, he says jokes, he looks great. I guess he had a 35-minute speech last year.
Oh, so boy.
I got a message from I think it was Jimmy Kite. He's like, Yorkie, best advice, keep it short. 5 minutes max. Don't do what Jacques did last year.
Well, that's Jacques. He's been saving it up for so long. He's ready to roll.
Right. That's Tuggy. We got Tuggy on. That's Tuggy's got some great Jacques stories.
Okay, well then let's go, gentlemen. You two lead us off, and then we'll get to our Sens Summer Series.
This show is fueled by Shoeless Joe's Sports Girl. New daily deals open to close Sunday through Thursday. Start with $5 Buds and Bud Light 16-ounce pours every day. Sunday, it's all you can eat ribs for $32.99. Maritime Monday are fish and chips, just $10. Tuesday, a pound of jumbo wings for $10. Wednesday, grab a $10 smash burger. And Thursday, 2-for-1 chicken tenders for $25.99. Big flavor, cold beer, unreal value. Shoeless Joe's, 2 great locations in Campville and Orleans.
And spring is here. And if you're a homeowner thinking of getting that new driveway, maybe some fresh gravel, or getting your property ready for a great summer, BI can help you with all those things. They supply quality aggregate and landscape material at competitive prices, and they've got the equipment and experience to handle everything from small residential jobs to full driveway work. To get a quote or learn more, visit bonisherexcavating.com or call them at 613-432-1120. BEI is helping to shape the Ottawa Valley. And as always, please remember to slow down in those construction zones.
The Sens Summer Series.
Tugger, welcome to the show, my friend.
Good morning, guys.
Now we can. Oh, we got him.
He's
Okay.
good.
Okay, we can hear him.
Nice to see you, sir. How are
Nice to see you guys too. Yorkie, congratulations on Wednesday. That's awesome, bud. I'm proud of you.
Thank you,
amazing.
Tuggy. Thank you. We were just chatting. But can you hear us talking about you when you were in the green room there,
Yep.
or in your cottage? Where are
I
you
did.
right now? You up at the lake?
Yeah, I'm at the lake, full time here.
Nice.
So,
Isn't it?
when you
isn't
guys
it
were
funny,
talking, I was waving. I was waving for you guys, and I was like, "Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?" I'm waving and waving. I'm like, "Am I on? Am I not on?"
Okay.
Which lake are you at?
Stony Lake.
Yeah, Stony Lake. That's
Stony Lake, just
Tuggy,
north of Peterborough.
Is there some other hockey guys on there? Isn't there? Is there some other? Isn't Corey Stillman up there and some other guys?
He's on a different lake, but Barrett Hayton just bought up here last year.
Okay.
He's a local kid, and he bought up here. But a lot of the guys have left, though. We used to have a couple. Larry Robinson used to be up in the area and stuff, but Bob Gainey's still here. Big Bob's still here. He's still got his place. But other than that, that's about it.
Do you remember, Tuggy? Speaking of Bob Gainey, before we get going, do you remember when we did that trip up to the Donnie Meehan trip up to Scottsdale, Ireland, and we played the old course, and we went over to Ireland and we played it was one of the best trips of all time, right?
Oh, for sure. It was an incredible trip, and I don't know, what was it, almost 100 guys or something?
100 guys.
Yeah, I remember.
Guys. Yeah. And do you remember?
Yeah,
so
like
the reason I
100
asked,
guys and Bob Gainey.
oh, we get on a little bit of it.
Yeah, so there's clearly a 1 second delay, Yorkie, so just be slightly patient.
Gotcha. Tuggy, the reason I ask, I don't know if you remember this. We were playing at St. Andrews, and we're at the historic bar, the hole 17, beside the road hole there. Everybody that goes to St. Andrews talks about that. And we're in that pub, and Bob Gainey and Bobby Clark, I don't think they left their bar stool for about 8 hours straight. And the two of them had the biggest smiles on their face sitting there like that. They were just so jacked up to be there. And every time I see Bob Gainey, I just remember him sitting in the bar for 8 hours straight, just having the time of his life. And the smiles from ear to ear on those two guys was awesome.
Yeah, over in the bars there, they don't close until the last person leaves. And I'm sure I think the waitress put a 48-hour shift time because none of them were leaving. You had Lyle Odeline with another one. Oh. And some of these guys, it was like a rotation that someone was there 24 hours a day. And that poor girl, I think, had to stick it out for almost 48 hours.
Oh, so good. So good.
You brought up about Yorkie going in the hall. Do you think Graham and I should be mentioned in his speech?
Well, now that you guys have brought him along and,
Thank you.
Taking him to a whole new level, I think that he'd be remiss not to put you guys in his speech and keeping him going and stuff. I think, there's the past and there's the future, and obviously you two are the future for Jason York.
Yeah. Well said.
I love it. Thank you.
Hey, Tugger, I got to get your opinion on this because you're an old goalie, and I don't know if you know this, but Wally is an old goalie. Like, he used to play goalie back in New Brunswick. He went to this hockey school. He talks about getting Player of the Week at this hockey school. He was at. He's 11.
Tugger played there. He played at the Aiken Center.
Okay, I know you played in the Aiken Center, but here's what we're doing. We've got this great charity initiative that Graham thought of. There's Wally's Player of the Week from the
Goalie
hockey
of
school.
the Week.
So we're all about giving on this show, about charity and donations. We've done some great things. We want to do a breakaway challenge this summer where we raise money for charity. We get Wally in the net, and we auction off 5 shooters. We bring out one of the, I think Claude Giroux is going to come out too. And we do a shoot off. It's the Wally. There it is right there. Well, Tugger, if we give you some heads up, do you think you could come down, be part of this? And maybe Wally doesn't have any gear anymore because his wife threw it away. Maybe you could help him out, donate some gear for the day.
Oh, jeez. I could find something for him to wear. Yeah, when is this? And is it in Ottawa?
This is never.
It's going to be in Ottawa, and we're going to do it in my driveway. It's going to be like Wayne's World. We're actually doing it on the road. We'll go car, move to that. We're going to make it old school. We're going to have it's going to be live streamed. We're going to live stream it. It's going to be part of one of our summer shows because we need content in the summer. And the more, if you could come, we'll give you a big heads up. And you come up and be part of it. What do you think? Think this has legs?
No, say no.
I think it would definitely be entertaining. I would love to watch it, but I did know Wally did play net when he was young. We had these discussions back in the day, and I said, "Oh, really?" And he was promoting how he had won the goalie of the week and stuff so much. And I think he was looking for maybe that. Of course, he was. he wanted to be that third goalie, the guy, the e-bug. He wanted to be an e-bug guy.
Tuggy, do you hear what they're doing now in the NHL? You would actually be awesome for this. You guys hear this? From now on, the NHL has to travel a third goalie on the road. So basically a guy that just gets to go on the trip, drink some beers, and be ready to play because you heard this, Wally?
No.
It's going to be a thing moving forward. It's a new rule coming out in the CBA where a third goalie will travel with the team. How good of a gig is that? You need to make a comeback.
Yorkie, that's no different from when I played for Montreal and I just watched Patrick play all the time. It was the exact same thing. So just what's the difference between the second or the third?
That's still the best story ever, though, eh? Like Patrick Waugh actually took you aside before the regular season and told you when you were going to play games. The true or false?
He had his schedule set, and I knew my schedule basically month by month. And, that was a deal that he had worked out, that he felt he needed to play those games and I could play the other ones.
You played in 2 years in Montreal, 15 games. And you played a playoff. You played a playoff game? One playoff game. What's that? What's it like to sit there and watch?
Well, the 1 year was a lockout year. We only played 48 games.
Yeah, the 94.
Yeah, we had the lockout year. Yeah, so one of those years was only a 48-game schedule, and obviously it was a race to the finish to try to get playoff spot, and I didn't play much at all that year. And then that's for the playoff game. I hadn't played for 3 months, and Patrick got the appendicitis, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're in, and it was too much actually. I didn't handle it well, and it was a brutal game. My buddy that lives up here, Dave Reed, scored twice on me, and I don't think he's ever scored twice in a game before in his life, except for that game. So, yeah. So no, it was tough. Is watching that right now. I'm glued to the TV, just watching the pregame show for Montreal. There's nothing like it.
It's
but what? Okay, so that and I worked in Montreal for a year. I've covered plenty of Habs games, and I'm just that environment's spectacular. But what's it like to play in it? Montreal is 2-4 at home this season. Is it too much?
It's a lot. For me, that one day, I woke up with cameras outside my door as I was going to my car. I had no idea why they were there, and then I got to the rink and I was like, "Where's Patrick? He's not here." I said, okay. And then from there, it just escalated. There was no sleeping in the afternoon. There was pure stress, pure pandemonium on my side because I thought my season was over. I was just going to watch him play the rest of the year. And, next thing you know, you get thrown in. So it was a tough spot to be in. But they followed me all the way home. They followed me to my meal. They followed me everywhere. These cameras the entire game day, and I was like, it was a little overwhelming, to be quite honest with you. But
No kidding.
oh well, it's part of the history.
Tuggy, were you still? Is that when you started doing that crazy pregame routine of yours in Montreal because of the stress, where you basically didn't talk the entire day and ignored anybody that tried to speak to you in the dressing room?
I just found Yorkie when I was my bubbly self when I didn't play, and if I acted like that when I did play, it never went well. So I just said I got to be in my own little world and get through the day. And then once the game was over, I'm sure you noticed, no matter what, after the game was over, I was ready to go. It was go time. What do you guys want to do? Where do you want to go? What, but before that, it was just, I got to get through this game.
but then you told me when you got to Columbus, you just threw it all out the window and just started being normal on game day.
I started to normalize a little bit. I think that had to do with just, I knew I was in the backstretch my last 4 years, and I said, I got to go out really enjoying it. And I watched like Marty Brodeur laugh and joke all the time, Fleury laughing and joking. And I was like, why can't I just be like that? But that just wasn't my DNA. My DNA was to be, shut everybody off and get through the day. And once it was over, I was myself again.
And for people that don't know, like I'm just gonna give people an example of what Tugger used to do on game days, because Wade Redden and I would sit there in the dressing room and we used to watch him. Like, hey, watch him right now. It's 6 o'clock, so he's gonna move his leg to the right and look up like that, and then we'd be jumping up we'd be trying to get his attention, and he wouldn't look at you, and he was just in this crazy trance. And it started as soon as I think it started. Like right after the pregame, and you got to the rink, and he wouldn't talk to anybody, and everybody had to leave him alone because he was in this Tugger zone of just total focus. And I've never seen a goal. The only person I've seen do stuff like that to this day is Paul Krea, who you could not talk to before a game. He did the exact same crazy shit you used to do. And but it became like a joke. Reds and I'd be like, okay, let's see if we can get his attention. Like trying to play tricks, probably not a smart idea, trying to distract the starting goalie. But that's how crazy Tuggy was before games.
Did Damian Rhodes try to talk to you?
No, we didn't talk. Well, we talk now. We talk more now than we did when we played together. Every once in a while, I get a text from him. It'll be some smart ass remark every time. Like he's in Minnesota or something, I think now, and he gave a smart ass, remark or something, and just out of the blue. And we every once in a while we text back and forth. But when we were playing, actually, we didn't really communicate a lot. Like,
when's the last time you saw Damian
We were
Rhodes?
partners, but oh geez, that might have been in Ottawa at the outdoor game.
Well, I will say you two were on our show at the same time, were you not?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's right. But you were, yeah, you're right. You're right. But we weren't together.
Oh, but we
were together though. But yes.
Rhodesy was a weirdo too. Rhodesy used to travel. I don't know if you remember this because I was his roommate for a while. Rhodesy used to travel with this thing called a sleep machine. It was basically some humidifier that made this noise, but actually didn't work. But he had to have it to sleep because of the humming sound he make. But I ended up rooming with him, so I got used to this stupid thing too. So then I had to keep him as a roommate for a while because this thing gets in your head. It's like then you got to keep using it, Tuggy. Anyways, you guys were total opposites. He was so quiet and Tuggy quiet at the rink, but the game was over. It was a different Tuggy after the game.
That is true.
Since we're on old times, I'll switch my notes around. I'm curious. I'm searching the interwebs, looking for stuff. You're very popular still on the internet. I found this picture of you and one young Lance Pitlick. And I'm like, do you have any recollection of this?
No. No, I do not.
Okay.
I thought you were going to show one of me being on the back of Bonky's motorcycle. That's what I was worried you're going to show. There's one out there me on the back of Bonky's motorcycle.
Oh,
and that's
we got
absolutely hilarious.
We got that one, Wally. Do you have it?
We do
you
have
it in the deck. Hey,
Yeah.
by the way, did you hear about Radek Bonk, Tuggy? He's 192 pounds. He's lost like 70 pounds. He looks like a totally different person. It's crazy.
Well, yeah.
A lot of these guys, like Luke Richardson, was the same at 220, and now he's like 190 or whatever. And some of these guys that were bigger guys actually shed the weight. And then there's some of us like myself that go the other direction and, try to bulk up a little bit more, so, but it is surprising how much some guys spin right out.
Yeah.
It's for those harsh Canadian winters, Tuggy.
Like you look pretty thin, Yorkie. Yorkie looks thin.
Camera. It's the camera.
It's camera. I'm walking more too. Golf. I walk
the angle.
Yeah. Getting a tan too.
Has one other picture that always gets brought up is has Yorkie ever apologized for trying to decapitate you behind the net?
Holy.
This is all with nothing to see here. Like, talk about a hit from behind. Talk about a hit from behind.
I remember I was originally mad at Yorkie. I'm like, what is he doing? And then I see it afterwards and I'm like, holy, and I don't think there was a penalty on the play or nothing.
No, nothing to see here.
No,
just
they let it go.
Play on. I think that was a playoff game. It was crazy times there. It's hitting from behind actually probably didn't get called until the early 2000s in the NHL. Like if you went back for a puck, it was up to you to make sure you didn't get creamed. That's just the way it was. And obviously right there, I didn't do a very good job of it.
Well, Yorkie, in fairness to you, you hit Tuggy square on. Like you
got
hit him from behind.
I got him good. Like look, Tuggy's like going down like a bowling ball there.
That's the best hit you've ever made.
Boom.
Anyway, I feel like
I think Yorkie was just shocked that I was playing the puck. I think he was just surprised that I was actually going out to play.
What are you doing back here? You never stopped the River Alice.
We do have your Bonky pick. There you are.
Oh my God, Tuggy!
Look at that.
Shorts are fine.
That's a fashion guru. Does Bonky still drive a motorcycle?
I don't know, but I ended up buying one. 2 years later, I bought my own Harley actually because I always wanted a motorcycle, and he said jump on for a ride, so I did, and then from then on, it was like I got to get a bike.
Oh, maybe helmet next time, Tugger. You're the starting goalie, for God's sake.
Yeah, that would. Truth be known, when I go down south and there's no helmet law, I go no helmet.
I like it.
Well, that leads me into maybe you should go down south more often, because when you were playing for Columbus, you got write-in votes to be president of the United States. I'm just curious if you might want to resurrect that idea.
Well, I couldn't do a worse job, I don't think.
Helmets for everybody. I always were you surprised by that? I always laughed at that when you got all this attention. I'm like, what are people talking about? He can't, like, what? Did you lean into it?
It was the thing that they did in Columbus to promote the team the first year, and they picked me to be the guy that was going to run for the presidency. And I don't know if I told you guys before, but they had all these commercials and things all set up. I was walking through farm fields and delivering baby. I was doing all these different things, and it was both Tugnutt. And all of a sudden, some of these people, I guess, in Columbus did vote for me. So, it's hard to get a vote.
All right, Tugger, I'm going to make you reconnect. Whenever I think when it's live, it just lags a little. Can you just? We're going to take you down and have you come back in, please.
Okay,
Jake.
Okay, how do just reset? Go right.
Yep, just come right back, Jake. Thank you.
Tuggy, I think Tuggy's on the dial-up phone internet at his cottage right now.
He's
He's got the jokes though. He's got the jokes. I like
he's
it.
very good. And we still haven't got. There's lots of stuff we still got to get to. I do want Yorkie before he comes back. Do you know? Have you ever scored on Ron Tugnutt?
Have I ever scored on Ron Tugnutt?
Yeah.
Where would I have played against Tugger when he was at Anaheim? I'm going to say I don't think so.
Okay.
Not that I remember.
Okay.
I can't remember. I only score on the Patrick Waugh, Marty Brodeur, guys like that. I did that for Tuggy just to get Patrick back. You can't do that to Tugger. Tell him. Tuggy sugarcoats that too. He says before the season, Waugh pulls him aside. And he's like, "See these games right here? These are the ones that you're going to play, and I'm going to play these ones." We understand this? Yeah, we got it. You know where I'm coming from.
Yeah. It wasn't the best friendship.
Yeah, but Tuggy's such a good guy, so easygoing. That's why it's so crazy that he acted like that before games. He just went into this bizarro world of not speaking, and it's so much stress when you got to be that person. Let's see if we've got him back better here. Tuggy, did you get off the dial-up internet? My goodness.
I'm getting some static here on my phone with you guys, so I don't know what it's in and out, but not too bad right now though.
I was just asking Yorkie if he'd ever scored on you. Do you remember Jason York ever scoring a goal on you?
No, I think he can count on both his hands how many goals he's got total, so I don't think any of them's me.
Well, I'm going to December 21st, 2000, Jason York had the opening goal as Václav Prospal and Marty Havlat assisted. Goal number 28 in his career was a power play marker. Ottawa, Columbus.
Oh, the Jackets. Wow.
Well, truth be known, I think he scored a bunch more on me. It was just we were wearing the same jersey.
That's after he tried to kill you. Yeah. Do you know who victimized you the most? Who scored the most goals against you?
Well, besides all the real famous goal scorers, I think Rob DeMaio and Steve Thomas.
Oh, wow. Okay, I'll have to look them up. I think Yager has 10, I think is the most.
I bet you, surprisingly, Thomas and DeMaio would be close to that, I bet you.
Okay, I'll check here. Let's see. What else do we have to go? I do want to get into the whole point of this was to ask you, you played in a 1A, 1B system, you and Damien Rhodes, where it was never really, it didn't seem defined as the starter. It would just be you playing or you're playing. How do you guys manage when you both want the net? Or did you just come to an understanding of we just play when we're told?
Yeah, it was more, it is what it is. And, I think it can work. But I think the two guys have to be in it together. And the hardest part is when you're really feeling it and you want to get on a run, you want to get on a roll, and you just can't keep the net. Even if you play a great game, Jacques would go back or something. So that was the hard part, I think. I don't like Allmark had it with Swayman. The two of them were playing half and half for the most part, and it worked. Maybe it's a good relationship between the two. But I personally feel the best has always been if the starter plays in the 55 range, and then your backup plays in the 30 range. And I think that is probably, the best setup that I've seen. It's difficult because you want to be the guy and you want to get in there and play consistently and all the time. But at the end, you also want to be rested when it comes playoff time.
You mentioned Allmark. Like, we had the conversation last week, like just in terms of what we would consider doing to address the Senators goaltending position to insulate Allmark. Just from watching from afar, Tuggy, like, what would you do heading into this offseason if you were Steve Staves?
They're in such a different situation. There's life as well that comes into play here, and you have to be considerate of that. But on the other hand, this is your business, this is your team, and you want to make sure that you have at all times a guy that gives you a great chance to win. And he's a game breaker for them when he's playing and playing well. Like, he is a dominant guy. and I think you have to have a second guy that you really believe can play. And, I think James came in and did a good job. Like, his numbers are good. I think he did a good job. Now he's up there, but, it's a really tough spot for them to be in, and, I just hope that this year, Linus is good to go. But I think he's that guy that would benefit playing the 50-55 games. And, if you look at it over the year, he took some time away. And if he didn't, he would have been in the 60 something range. And so a good partner that they can lean on a little bit, would probably be really important. And honestly, you need a third guy that you could also have ready to go.
That's the new NHL, right? That third guy almost seems more important at some points because everybody now gets to a third goalie by the end of the year for the most part.
Yeah, when I look at all the teams across the league, they've all had, at least 3 guys playing in their net at some time. Strangely enough, I think there is more injuries to goalies than there was in the past. I think, the days of, Marty Brodeur playing 78 games, Grant Fuhr, those are long, long gone. Like, they're so far gone that it's just not going to happen again. It's too hard on the body. Without a doubt, you have to have 2 real good goalies. The question is, if you identify this is the guy that's supposed to be the guy, he's got to get his 55 in, and the other guy gets the 30. And when I was in Edmonton with Billy Ranford, the best thing about what they did there is they didn't look at who we were playing against. So as the backup guy, you're sitting there going, oh, great, I'm only going to get the last place games. Well, those are the hardest games to play. You know what I mean? So in Edmonton, it's like, okay, Billy's playing these 3, you're playing this one. Billy's playing these 2, you're playing this one. And it goes by what rest he needed. And at the end of the day, I was playing in that 25-30 range and Billy was playing the other ones. But I like the idea that I got to play against a top-end team sometimes. And it wasn't just all the bottom teams. And I think that makes a difference as well.
Hey, Tuggy, you watching the playoffs right now? And I'm curious to get your opinion on this. You're looking at the teams that got caught in that, oh, now we're starting. Look at Colorado. Who's the starter? We're playing this guy. Now we're playing that guy. Minnesota started going back and forth in goalies. And then you see teams like Vegas, Carter Hart's playing all the games. Montreal, Dobish is playing all the games. Do you think in the playoffs it still has to be the old traditional, the one guy? That's your guy? Like, just from, like, you as a goalie, if you know you're playing, like, do you want that in the playoffs, or do you think it's changed now where you can go 2 goalies now in the playoffs?
I think if you're making a change, there's a concern. I think that, I think Carter Hart's played a couple of games where I didn't think he was that sharp, but there wasn't a thought of Tortorella changing him. He says, no, That's the guy. That's the guy. And I think as the playoffs are getting deeper, he's actually getting really more comfortable and better and better. And Dobis has just been a tremendous story. He's got a swagger to him. And, he gets scored against early every game, and it doesn't affect him at all. For a young kid, that's impressive. And there's no question that they're not where they are without him. But as I said, in Colorado, there's been a wavering all year long. There's been a little bit of a wavering where they had, like Wally said, 1A, 1B. Well, if one guy played 50 and one guy played 30, we know who 1 is and we know who B is. And but that's not the case there. And now they're going to get into a spot where they move around a little bit and they're down 3. So I wouldn't be surprised if they make a change there for game 4.
The other thing I wanted to ask you about, Yorkie brought this up a long time ago about how good or how important a backup goalie is on the bench during games. And I'm curious, when you're sitting on the bench, do you know what that role is and how important it is?
Yeah, it's if you have someone on the bench that's sitting there going, this guy should be out of the net, I should be in it. You're focused on the wrong thing. So. It's just being a good teammate is important. I think if there's one thing I could say in my longevity, might be that in times I wanted to be in the net, I wasn't in the net. I was still a good teammate. I was still supporting guys. I still felt that was a great player. Good communication with Rhodesy there. The way you guys did that was awesome. And just kind of be in a positive frame of mind with them. So when they come off, they said, yeah, Rhodesy and I made a good play there or whatever. And it's just, supporting the guys. And instead of just sitting there eating popcorn or pizza or whatever, you support the guys.
Do you have jokes ready?
No, there's no jokes. I got no jokes.
The Tugger, we've had Jamie McClellan on the show, guys that have talked about hiding hot dogs in their pants and doing certain things. Do you have a story about back in the day of something maybe a little bit off the rails you might have done when you're sitting on the bench and with hiding any food items or anything like that? Anything crazy you can share?
The best is when the backup doesn't have to sit on the bench. So like in Hartford, we were in a mall there, and you could sit in the stand, like right in the walkway there. And you could I had nachos, I think, once there. And then in Montreal, the new Montreal rink, I used to sit on the other side, and the hot dogs in Montreal were great. So you'd always, pound a couple of those in. But I always waited. I always wanted to feel that my goalie partner was feeling it that day. And I said, okay, he's good. I'll know. I usually know pretty early. I said, yeah, he's feeling it. He's good. I said, now I can, after the second, I can start diving in.
Yeah. I always hated it when I like having, because I told the reason Wally asked you that question before, I loved having the backup goalie on the bench. Because as you know, like some D need a little bit of a psychiatrist, or you get off the bench, off a shift, and the coaches are so dialed, but the goalie's sitting right there wherever the backup is, and you see that play, what happened there, and you I always liked it when you had a guy like yourself on there that you could chat with, because it kind of settles the nerves. Like, are there some guys you played with that you're had to keep talking to all game because this guy needed a little bit of mental support?
Well, I know some that come off and they'd be cursing my goalie partner, saying, what is he doing there? How did he not stop that? Well, maybe because you were standing right in front of him and he couldn't see it. But I would always say, yeah, I think he's got to find that puck through traffic. And then the goalie will come over in the stoppage and say, can he not get out of the way, that guy? I said, yeah, he just has a tendency to just stay right in the lane. so there's my psychiatrist for you. Support both sides.
You are a politician.
Yeah, Switzerland I am.
What are those conversations like during commercial breaks between the two goalies? Is there much said sometimes or nothing?
Well, Marty Turkle was he'd be coming and he'd be whistling and having the time of his life and talking about other things and he goes, watch this, I'm going to throw some sauce around this period or next shift. If it comes in, I'm going to do this. And he's telling me all these things he's about to do and stuff. And then you'd have another guy that just comes over and he wants his towel and his water bottle and he doesn't want to say a word to him. So, it depends on the guy, that comes to the bench and you know what he wants and you just kind of play along with it.
You and Patty had a lot of chats.
Yeah, we didn't have commercial breaks back then, so that's fine.
He just stayed in his net anyway. Jumping around, I'll forget, is I love that you're back. We get to see you more often involved in the Sens alumni. Recently, you were back pounding beers into game 4. Okay, so we'll play. What's this moment like for you as you get to... I'm sure Neeler had more than one, that you got to crush the bell.
Well, what ended up happening on this, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag, is that they were going to show me how I was going to be doing the bell and stuff like that. And those guys were already in the back and they drank half their beers. So when we got out and it was time to do it, I cracked mine and I put it up and I look and theirs are gone. And I was like, what the, and I had to choke mine down and then I had to whack the bell. But I found out afterwards, these guys already drank half a beer. They chugged the other half. They chugged like Philly goes, aha, you didn't get the memo. And I said, so, but it was funny. I said, I think I'm going to headbutt the bell or something. What do you think? And they said, well, I don't know. So I opted just to hit it with the hammer.
Cool moment for you?
Yeah, that was really cool. It was great to be with those guys too. It's always great to see Philly and and Bosch and the group of guys. It's it was a really cool moment to be able to do that.
I don't know how much you scour the league, so I'll put you on the spot one last time before we let you go. And that is, if you had to pick a backup for Ottawa, who would it be?
Oof. Well, that's a real tough one.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I should have probably sent you a note.
You need to know. We need to know what the options are.
Well, I'll give you a name that's been. There's some people, or there's a rumor going out there that Devin Levi, for example, in Buffalo, his name's been floated out there. I think it's people are saying, could you go with a young guy like a Devin Levi, or would you go with a guy maybe like a Reimer that's maybe a little younger, that's got some experience that Linus can lean on? There's just a couple different camps out there that people. So maybe more if you got a name, or more the type you think Ottawa could use to play with Linus.
Well, the one thing you have to have is, as a team, you have to have a belief in that guy. And, obviously Peters is going to have some intake on what goalie he feels could be that guy, whether it's even, Levy back in there again. I know it didn't go great for him, but he could be still the guy. But at the end, I will tell you one thing. If your team is playing well, you can play anybody. But if you're in a funk, you have to have your number one guy be a difference maker to get you out of it. And it's all easy when the team's playing great and you're winning 4 out of 5 games. It's easy to throw that other guy in there, and you got to get him in there. The longer he sits there, the worse it's going to be. But on the other hand, as a group, you have to be confident, whether it's internally from your organization or if you actively go out there and get a guy. I always think the proven guy is the way to go because he's done it and proved it. But if you have a really strong belief in a guy that he's going to be a star and a starter one day, and he's young, and you think that someone else isn't giving him that opportunity, like a Levy, and you believe he could be the guy, then you have to make that move, and you have to live with it, but you have to play him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Tugger, I got 2 questions for you. We've seen Linus pay homage before with his mask. We saw him do it with like Lilim with the Martian on his mask. He did it this year with your oil mask. Do you pay attention to that? And does that give you any like satisfaction knowing he's paying homage to like your contributions to the team's history?
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I know for like other people have used it on other teams as well. That splash, I think it's a popular look. I think it's an easy one for them to get quickly. But I'm pretty happy I came up with that splash, and that even today you still see versions of it. There might be some different things where they put the logos and the splashes, but I think it's got a nice little look to it, and I think that it's been popular for sure.
And finally, when you got traded from Ottawa to Pittsburgh in 2000, and apologies if you answered this question on the podcast before, but like you get traded at the deadline for Tom Barrasso. What was going through your head at that point in time? And then how cathartic was it to go on the run that you did with Pittsburgh?
Well, it was tough because I loved Ottawa. I loved being there, and but at the end of the day, they didn't feel that I could get them to where they need to be, and I kind of took that more or less, I'll show you guys. I'll show you made a mistake, and so I use that as ammo for myself to get myself going. That maybe I was getting a little stale there. Maybe I wasn't the right guy. But it just kind of perked me to the point that I said I want people to notice that I'm playing good in the playoffs. And once we got Pittsburgh into the playoffs, which was late in the year, and we got on the run, it was kind of like me saying, because I know some people are saying, well, we got him and it's not going so well, and look at Ron down there, and that's exactly what I wanted to, for people to hear.
And just I'll tell you from the players' perspectives, guys, it was a terrible trade. Like no feel for the dressing room. Not only did we lose Tugger, who the guys loved and was a good goalie, we lost Yanni Lokinen too, who was he was a glue guy who I played with. Like, we lost two good players, but just no feel for the room too of what you're losing. So you lose Tuggy can tell you when you lose guys like that, it's a massive hole. And nothing against Tom Barrasso. He had a nice career and everything, but it was kind of you take a little bit of the heartbeat of the team away, and it's tough to recover.
Well, he also, Barrasso had only played like something like 8 games so far that year.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't even really playing that year. And as Yorkie said, for me, Yanni Laukinen was a NHL defenseman all day long. Like, and he was so well liked and so funny in the room. And, I think that he brought that over to Pittsburgh. And I remember guys like, how did they let him go? And I said, I don't know. They threw me in the deal, I guess. I said so.
I don't think so.
But the guys in Pittsburgh, they loved Tommy, but they said it was time for him to move on.
Yeah. You know what's funny? Like, nowadays, I find, Tuggy, and you can attest to this, teams really do a good job of going to their players and saying, "Hey, we're thinking of doing this. What do you guys think?" That never happened in our day. And that's why you've seen so many trades go the wrong way back then, because nobody consulted with who knows what's going on in the room. And I just find teams do a way better job of that nowadays.
Well, with the way that players move around a little bit, everyone's already played with somebody.
Yeah.
And they'll ask them, what's this guy like? And I will tell you that, people want good character people in the dressing room. Or they'll take on a player when they know their team has very high leadership. And I said, if they have that, then, like I remember Claude Lemieux in Dallas. And everybody said, well, no one in the league likes him, not even his own team. And he came in there, and right away, Darian Hatcher took control of the room and everything. And Lemieux was just a great teammate, actually, in Dallas. So, you better have some powerful guys in the room if you're going to bring somebody in that's going to disrupt some stuff.
Mm-hmm. Who's your favorite teammate? Don't say Yorkie.
Jeez. I was pretty lucky. I had so many great guys that just, to name one would be unfair. I just think that, the other 100 would be upset that I didn't name them. So okay. I had a lot of great teammates, but what I will tell you is my favorite times in my career, most fun I ever had was Ottawa and Columbus.
Well, you sit 4th in games played in Ottawa, 4th in starts, 3rd in wins, 3rd in shutouts. You had a hell of a career here. Do you have this picture hanging in your house anywhere?
Yeah, I do.
Is it?
Yeah, that was unbelievable. Like, I got some serious height on that, actually.
You could dunk right there, Tuggy, like an NBA player.
Yeah, that was what a ride that was. I tell you, like, I remember it as clear as day, like the stretch and, having to go into Detroit and win late in the year, which was a really tough place to win in, to have to win in there just to have a chance for this one and stuff. And that was quite a run we put on there.
Yeah. You know what the greatest behind the scenes story, Tug, the story to this one leading up to that game. You went head to head with Hasek in that game, and we beat them 1-0, as everybody knows. But you remember Hasek wasn't supposed to play that game, right? And no. Frankie Musil took him out drinking the night before and got him completely pie-eyed, and came in the next day and said, Hasek's not playing, boys. I took him out last night. But then he played hungover and played unbelievable.
Yeah. Frankie said, oh, don't worry, he's playing. But he was out all night. He didn't get any sleep, and he was hammered last night. So we outshoot them 45-17, and it's 1-0 late in the third period, for crying out loud.
Good job, Frank.
You did a real good job, Frankie.
But those games, Tuggy, as a goaltender, when you're watching the other goalie be that busy, it's almost more stressful for you, because sooner or later you're going to have to make a save, and it's going to be a key one, right?
Yeah. Well, even in this playoff, how about Montreal getting 9 shots on goal against Tampa?
Yeah.
Like that's got to be the hardest game. Like all of a sudden you get a good scoring chance and you've been sitting there for, a period and a half. And, it's just those games are way harder to play than, the 30, 35 shot games. So anything under 15 is really hard because you're not doing anything. And all of a sudden there's a breakaway, and, you're just not quite into the game as you would be if there's just constant action around.
One last thing. This will bring back some memories. So this is where you used to hone your craft at the Aiken Center as I was goalie of the week. I think
it's true.
Yeah. So, yeah. Do you remember playing in the Aiken Center?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember the first drive when I drove from Quebec there. Yeah, it was right by the water there, and they had the bridge right next to it. And I started my American League career actually on a 21-day road trip because the rink wasn't ready or something. So the ice wasn't ready. So we actually started that year 21 days away to start the season. All bus, by the way. And that was my beginning to my American League career.
I just always remember you playing in Fredericton. Anyway, Tuggy, we appreciate your time. Thank you for entertaining us once again.
All right, boys. Cheers.
Appreciate
Thanks,
you.
Tuggy.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, congratulations, Yorkie. Have a good time on Wednesday. As I heard earlier, keep the speech short. Make sure you thank all the right people, and that's an amazing accomplishment. Good for you, bud.
Thanks, buddy. Take care, right?
Right. Cheers, guys.
There goes Ron Tugnutt, one of the most beloved figures in Ottawa Senator history.
Yeah, what a beauty. What a beauty. And as people know that used to watch the team way back then, Tuggy went on to have some real good seasons, particularly with Columbus. He had a great run in Pittsburgh. And it's because of the move, he ended up extending his career quite a long time. And he always says he got a huge contract in Columbus, which was great for him. But he's just great teammate. And for a small goaltender, like really, really athletic and just a gamer, like an absolute gamer. But yeah, he admitted it there, did not like getting out of the net to stop pucks. So if you were playing, you took a lot of big hits when Tuggy was playing.
I don't know if he admitted it or you said it. I think you just said it.
What's that?
That he didn't like getting out of the net. I think you just
no, we had a joke like when the puck was rimmed around, so the other team always does the hard rim. He'd go his arm and he'd go around. And I'm like, I know it's going around the boards and I'm going to get killed when I meet the forward there in the far corner.
He's on the Mount Rushmore of like iconic figures, like pop, like just cult icon figures like him and Zub. I don't know who else you put on there.
Volchi.
Havlat's too skilled though, right? Like he was.
Well, but Alfie's on the list.
No, we're talking. These are.
So what are they then?
Not like top of the. I wouldn't say like top of the lineup. Maybe it's just like not superstars, but like everybody loves them, beloved.
There's something about them that's because obviously Alfie's easy answer. Of course, he's beloved, all that stuff. But guys that were maybe not here for the longest time,
maybe unheralded. Like
they did it. They had a certain thing they did or skill set that.
Why can't we just go with beloved?
Because beloved is okay. It's easy. It's. I like what Graham says. It's an iconic figure throughout the history of the Sens that endeared himself to the fan base for a certain skill, trait.
Mark Borowiecki.
There you go. There you go, Wally. Now you're cooking. I
already said Volchi. Volchi's a cult hero.
Yes, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree. Like Casper Dogovins. There we go.
But leading the World Championships in goals right now.
Dogovins? No, Balsers. Rudolph Balsers. Rudolph Balsers is doing that. Sorry, which is crazy.
Yeah,
he's not an icon.
Dylan Cousins playing the wing with 4 goals.
Like, yeah, there you go. That's.
So I'm getting to that in a sec. Hang on. All right, keep going.
Sorry, I jumped again.
Icons?
Jenny, you don't say Yashin. We're gonna have to.
Yanni Laukinen was good. Yorkie. Yanni Laukinen was good.
Not enough. No. The problem with guys
at the same level.
Not enough social media and stuff to pump them up. Until
Pajot would be in that group, I think.
There you go, Wally. Now you're cooking.
That's
Now
a good
you're
one.
going. Yeah, you're going.
Well, Nealer would be in that group though. Like Nealer's
Yeah,
one of
but
the
he got his jersey retired, right? So like he was
Okay, so you're too good.
yeah.
Well, no,
we can't love you anymore. You're too good.
Yeah,
No,
it's like an
but-
indie rock band. You got to be like under the radar, but
So
like super popular.
Where's Mike Fisher then?
Yeah, Fish would be here.
Two apple pie, too nice, too good. Like
So now they gotta be mean.
Well, Fish is more like the Senators. Like everybody loved him. He's good looking. He's more like the Sens sex symbol in the religion.
Karkner? Like Karkner?
Like
Karkner might have been
Karkner. There's another one there for Kark's what he did there. For pounding. There you go. But I'd say like the
Next.
Pajot for sure. It's a great example. The most obscure though is Casper Dogovins.
the dog man.
Yeah, just for doing
yeah,
that.
he sure.
Like that.
Okay, hang on a sec. This is just coming in, so I want to get to it before we move on. From Zoe, my mom loved Ron Tugnutt. She told me she used to play with him on the ice with my brother. My mom just told me she used to babysit Yorkie's kid while she was in Ottawa.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
Probably my daughter Alexandra. Wow. Need some more icons here.
Oh, by the way, Tyler, I played golf on Friday. Tyler said he plays with you at Dulude. Said to say hi.
Oh, the Tuesday skate.
The Tuesday skates.
Best skate in the city.
And then I had this lovely girl on one of the holes because it was a tournament. She's probably like 20, 21, somewhere in there. She's like, oh, my dad and I watch your show. I've just kind of felt old.
My dad. It's a family. It's family viewing. Are we family rated?
She hasn't emailed the show. I told her I'd get her a mug, but she hasn't emailed the show. Okay, I got to do some more.
If they rated our show, though, we definitely wouldn't be R. We wouldn't be AA, adult accompanied. We'd probably be like
PG-13.
I think we'd be PG-13. Like
there's an F-bomb occasionally.
Yeah, sometimes you get a little bit of a potty mouth.
Only when you're upset.
PG-13. There we go.
Gonna need a good lawyer. Speaking of lawyers, this show brought to you by McNally Girvin. After an accident, it's not just the injury, it's the calls, the forms, the back and forth with insurance. It piles up fast. That's where McNally Girvin steps in. They help you understand what's actually going on. They handle the communication, walk you through your options, and stay on it with your claim so it doesn't get brushed aside. When things feel uncertain, it helps to have somebody in your corner who knows how it works. Their personal injury lawyers focus on getting you a fair result so you can focus on your recovery. McNally Girvin. We step in. Go to email them at mcnallygirvin.com. Course by Beyond the Pale. Lovely good brew. Two great locations. One is 250 City Center, and the other one's 21 George Street. Great food, great atmosphere. Head in there if you want to watch playoff games. Just chill for some great bevies, or you can take some to go. btpshop.ca, btpshop.ca, and of course, Bet365, our proud presenting sponsor. Tired of waiting for the end of the game to get paid? Ready to move on to the next buck drop? That's why Bet365's early 3-goal payout is exactly what you need. They're an official partner of the NHL. If the team you're riding goes up 3 goals at any point in the game, they'll pay out your bet early. Hockey moves fast, and now with 3-goal early payout, there's one less thing you have to wait around for. Bet365, download the app and see what early payout's all about. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly.
You almost sounded like the guy in the commercial there, Wally, and sail into the sunset and start dancing around like that. Well, by the way, I am 5 wins away from my Bet365 payoff, fellas, that I made last summer on my
I've been waiting for this.
bet on the Vegas Golden Knights.
You're gloating. I bet on them last night, and I was not very happy.
Early you weren't happy.
Yeah, and then Jack Eichel didn't score and let me down.
Hey, how good was Mark Stone last night? Hadn't played in weeks, comes back, looks like he hadn't missed a beat. Like, just so smart when you watch him play. You watched the game last night, Grant?
Such a gamer. I was working, so I didn't have a chance to watch the game last night. But he's such a gamer. I'm not surprised by that whatsoever.
Yeah.
So what happens tonight? Montreal's not good at home, but they've played very well in this series. Obviously winning the first game, second game losing in overtime.
Yeah.
I think they're in tough though, right? Because it's like I think it's the series gets progressively further along, the sharper Carolina is going to be, right? Theoretically.
And Carolina is the favorite to win this tonight.
Yeah.
Carolina's top line has been awful all playoffs, and they're in the conference finals. Aho, Svechnikov, and Seth Jarvis.
Yeah.
I think Sebastian Aho has 5 points. Like, they've been carried by guys like Taylor Hall, Stan Cohen. They've been quiet this series. The thing with Carolina has such a tough time scoring. They get chances. Montreal's just so opportunistic. It almost seems like it's meant to be for the Canadians. Every time you count them out, they capitalize on their opportunities. The Dolbish is playing out of his mind. Here's the thing, guys. Do you trust Freddie Anderson? Because this has been always what happens. He gets you to here, and then they'll get a leaky goal, and the margins are so tight in that series. I don't know. I can't figure Montreal out anymore. Like, they get 8 shots. They get 8 shots on goal, and they almost win the game.
Because they have playmakers. They've got goal scorers.
But how often can they do that, right? And most of the damage is happening.
Look at 93.
Oh, there's the F-bomb. There you go, Yorkie.
Like, we keep we just lost the rating. We keep saying that Montreal's this or that. We never give them the respect. And here they are in the conference final, and it's tied at 1.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
They're a team that just finishes, right? Like, they've got shooters on their team, but can they control the play of 5-on-5? That's been the theme of the. We knew this going into the series.
When you have a goalie,
this is the way it was going to be. And this is kind of like the narrative. This is the narrative that's plagued Carolina for the past 8 years. It's like, yeah, they can territorially dominate you. Will they finish enough to win and clinch? And, to this point, that was a story in game 2. Like, you thought there was a chance that Carolina could piss away that game, and they almost did. And to Montreal's credit, they're playing well. But I mean, like, Dolbish is standing on his head, and they'll go as far as he takes them. And that's kind of like, that's the theme of the series so far.
If you want to flip it around, though, like, we can say Montreal has all these finishers. They're not winning because of Cole Caulfield finishing. They're not winning because of their top guys finish. Yeah, Slavkovsky's got some goals. They're winning because guys like Josh Anderson are scoring. Newhook is scoring. I'll say this.
Which is the
Hudson's been unbelievable. Like, let's give this kid his due. He's been unbelievable back there. But they're winning because their lesser likes are getting key goals, like guys like Newhook. They're not winning because they're outskilling because their top guys are finishing all the time.
But that's what it takes to win in the playoffs. So we talk about this all the time. It's always somebody else steps up, and that's becomes like the third line's always become so important. We talk about
Newhook's a career 14% shooter though. Like, he's efficient. Yeah. Like, he doesn't shoot the puck a ton, but when he does, he's got a good shot.
But that goal he has. Like, sometimes lady luck is just on your side. And you look at the one winner he got a couple games ago, or I forget who it was a wrist shot that basically fluttered on his stick.
Yeah.
He was just trying to get that on net, and the puck raised and went right over the goalie's pad. That's not something you're trying to do as a shooter. That's just, okay, listen, great release, great shot. It's just sometimes these commercials with the hockey gods. I'm sorry to say, but the hockey guards do exist, because right now they do. Like, it's last night. There's a post by Colorado in the game when the game could have put them up by 3, but it goes off the crossbar and it doesn't go in. It's such a game of inches, and sometimes fate, luck, it's just on your side. Like, it's just
you make it happen.
No, you don't. I'm telling you, when you shoot the puck and it flutters through the air and somehow it goes in, that is luck. That is luck.
Got to be good. You got to be lucky, right?
Yeah. I'll tell you who's not lucky right now, Sebastian Aho. He is terrible right now. he needs to pick it up if Carolina's going to have some success.
I feel like all those points are on the power play as well, though.
Their power play is rotten too, like Carolina right now. But then again, but because of their guys, like Taylor Hall's been incredible. And how about
only one of 5?
Slavin has been a beast back there. But I always say this: you look at what Vegas is doing right now. Look how big their D are.
That's a great.
Did Montreal steal the Gnome? You think? That's where he is. The gnome is so pissed. He's taken so much heat for losing the Carolina series that he's skipped town and He's headed to Montreal. He's hanging out there. He's over at the Dago Bear right now.
Stallion 19 with the I heard Montreal didn't forget their gnome on their road trips. That hurts.
Sorry, Dago Bears, Quebec. He's at the the Barbie Barn's closed now in Montreal.
Yeah.
Where's he hanging out? Where is he at Montreal right now?
Well, everybody's on strike, so he isn't at the clubs.
The gnome's at the Rippers right now. I know he
is. Shea Parade.
He's making it rain with dollar bills. They're loonies, so we don't have dollar bills.
They hurt.
Yeah, but back to what I was saying about Vegas. Well, did you watch that game last night closely?
Well, not closely.
Their D are so efficient at boxing out. Like Braden McNabb, like you don't get to the front of the net when he's on the ice. Theodore, he's their skill guy, but he's still 6'2". They're just that's what happens as the playoffs go later. Like you can't have a little guy unless he can do what Hudson can do. Like look at some of Colorado's little D. They're just getting lit up by Vegas's forwards. Like they're just getting lit up. Like it gets so hard late in the playoffs. You need big bodies back there. It's just the game, the ice shrinks, and Vegas is shrinking it down on Colorado. Graham, you should have seen the beating Makar took last night. Every single time he had the puck, they finished him. I could just bet you before the game, Torts is like, guys, Makar, he's got a bad shoulder. Every time, hit. Like on the power play, they were finishing him every single time. Like every time they got a chance, he probably took 15 hard licks last night. It was they're on a mission right now, Vegas. It's
yeah. I noticed in Carolina, not to switch series, but I know Carolina was trying to do the same thing on Hudson in game 2. Like you could, they're targeted, right? Like they're just trying to wear
everybody's
them
targeted.
No, I know, but like there's concerted efforts for sure.
The problem with Carolina, they don't have the meanness and size throughout their forward groups. Like that's the thing when you have Stankov and you have Blake. Like Hall's the mean guy on that line. Yeah. So that's a line that can kind of let you off the hook physically. When you look at Vegas's guys, they've got size throughout that whole lineup. And even you look at Sebastian Aho, and he's not making me move the puck quicker. They're a little bit small for my liking.
All right. We'll see what happens on tonight.
We shall see.
And then we'll talk about Colorado tomorrow if they can finish it off or not. We are back tomorrow at 4. We'll see you then. We'll even check in on the gnome, see what he's up to.
Well, I know where he is.
See you, everybody.
See you, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to Coming In Hot. If you enjoyed the show, hit that like button and be sure to subscribe to never miss an episode.